Hello everyone, it's Nikki from Mouths of Mums. How are you? Yesterday I took one of my children and two of her friends to see the Australian premiere of Paddington 2. It was so much fun. It was such a laugh out loud movie. I had a little tear at the end. There's a beautiful moment at the end, but it was lovely. And one of the things that we discovered in Paddington 2 was that Paddington actually has a very special recipe for his marmalade. And throughout the movie, he actually makes that marmalade with one of the very lovely characters in the movie. So we have got some jars that the team from Studio Canal sent home with us yesterday. You can see that this is all marmalade that's been made by Paddington, and there's our little Paddington bear there. But I thought that seeing as we can't send all of that out to you, I thought that we would share his recipe with you. It's actually very simple. I don't know if you have ever made jam or marmalade at home, but it is surprisingly easy to make. So what you're going to need for Paddington's marmalade is 6 oranges. Now obviously these oranges don't look like they normally would when they first come home from the supermarket, but what I have done with those oranges is early this morning I actually popped all of those 6 oranges into a big stock pot, and I covered them with lots and lots of water, and then I actually boiled them for 2 to 2.5 hours. So what you want to end up with is you can see that that orange is actually really super squishy, and the skins have gone beautifully soft as well. So in a minute I'll cut those up. So that what you're going to do then is take the seeds out and then slice that up finely. For every orange that you have, I use, or Paddington uses, about 3/4 of a cup of white sugar to a cup of sugar, depending on how big the oranges are. Then Paddington likes to squeeze in the juice of 1 lemon, so we'll do that in a minute. And then the other little secret ingredient that Paddington likes to put in is a little tiny bit of cinnamon. He puts a couple of sprinkles of cinnamon into his marmalade. So let's get started. The other thing that you will end up with is, is some orange juice. So I've actually squeezed 3 cups of orange juice there, and this juice here is the water that I actually cook the oranges in. So I've reserved 3 cups of that. So all up we've got 6 cups of liquid to our 6 oranges to our 6 cups of sugar. So what we'll do is put that orange juice all into a big stock pot. Now the bigger the stock pot that you have, the better, because it's less likely to bubble over. So there we go, we've got those in there, those 2 jugs worth of liquid. And we're going to pop our sugar in. Oh look, one of my kids was making a little bear print in the sugar this morning. Can you see that there? I think they're trying to let you know that Paddington was here. So there we go, that's all that sugar. Alrighty, we'll tip him in there. Oh, there's a little bit that needs to come out. Stuck in the bowl, so that's your white sugar. You can use normal white sugar, you can use caster sugar. If you wanted a really malty kind of marmalade, you could actually use brown sugar or raw sugar. It's totally up to you. What we'll do first is, we'll put out a little sprinkle of cinnamon. So we'll pop that in there, depending on the flavour. Obviously you don't need to put your cinnamon in, but seeing as Paddington did, we shouldn't we? Okay, I'll squeeze our lemon in there. See if we can square in. Okay, I'll give those a little squeeze. Obviously if there's a seed in there, you should watch out. I already took the seeds out before. You could even run that through a little strainer if you wanted to make sure you didn't get any seeds in there. Sorry? I've got my husband. Oh, a seed went in. Oh, sorry. I've got my husband filming today, and as you guys all know, he's not normally here when we do Cook Club. All the kids are at the mall, the beach, birthday parties, wherever, so he's on duty today. So he's learning about filming a Cook Club today, which is quite funny. Okay, so let's have a look at these oranges. So basically all you're going to do, because they are so nice and soft, you can almost tear those apart. But I'm just going to cut them in half so you can see how happily they do that. What you want to do is just pop those little seeds out. Here we go, we'll use that little bowl just so you don't get your seeds in there. I mean, you could use your fingers obviously. No seeds in that side, that's all good. Cut him open. Now what I thought I might do is then I'm going to slice those up just so they match. Now you could leave these really big and chunky. It is completely up to you how chunky you like your marmalade. But while I'm slicing up those 2 oranges, if you haven't seen the trailer for Paddington 2, let me see if I can open up my computer without getting juice all over it. Why don't you have a quick little look while I'm chopping up over here? You have a look at the Paddington trailer.
Mr. Gruber. Oh, what's this? Oh,
This is London.
it's wonderful. Aunt Lucy always dreamed of coming to London. If she saw this, it would be like she were finally here. Aunt Lucy!
Oh, Paddington.
This is perfect. I've had a brilliant idea. I'm going to get a job and buy that book for Aunt Lucy's birthday. Hello, window cleaner.
Ow.
Are you quite sure you're ready for the workplace, Paddington?
It's Phoenix Buchanan, Dad's celebrity client.
I suppose you know who I am.
Oh, yes, you're a very famous actor.
VIP, celebrity.
Or used to be. Now you do dog food commercials.
This pop-up book, where on earth did you find it?
Mr. Gruber's antique shop. Stop! Freeze!
Hold it right there.
Oh, but I'm not the thief.
Mysterious things have been happening all over town.
We're rich again.
I may look like a hardened criminal, but I'm innocent.
We're going to need a foolproof plan.
If anyone can recognize a criminal, it's us.
He's a master of disguise.
What?
This is breaking and entering.
Haven't broken anything.
Where do you think you're going, Bear? Paddington wouldn't hesitate if any of us needed help. He looks for the good in all of us. Oh. Marmalade? Oh!
Take a seat.
Come on, Wolfie.
Ow.
Okay, so we're going to zip back over here. I hope you like that. That was Paddington 2. Now, if you think that your kids would like the look of that, that is out in cinemas on the 21st of December. It is definitely worth marking in your diary. It's a fantastic Christmas present. You could get the kids some movie vouchers or whatever, but my kids are already saying that they're going to go back and see it again. They absolutely loved it yesterday. So I've cut up these oranges. Now, a little trick that I have is, which I've discovered recently, is if you've got stuff that's really juicy, pop an old tea towel underneath your breadboard, and then if you actually have a whole lot of leakages, that's going to catch it rather than it dripping all over the floor. So that's the last of our oranges. So that's our 6 oranges in there. As I mentioned before, I boiled those this morning for 2.5 hours. Just put them in a big stock pot with loads and loads of water and just boil them down. So in our pot we've now got 3 cups of orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice. We've got 3 cups of the water that I cooked the oranges in. We put 6 cups of sugar. We put a sprinkle of cinnamon, and now I'm going to put those 6 oranges all chopped up straight in there. Now the only other thing that you might want to put into your marmalade is a little product, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, called Jam Setter. So that actually is like a pectin, and pectin is what helps your jams and your marmalades set nicely. So what I do is for every cup of liquid that I have and oranges, I put half a teaspoon of pectin. So we've got our 3 teaspoons there. So basically then all we want to do is give that a bit of a stir. You feel all that sugar in the bottom. Now you can see that that's a good ratio. This is such a big pot, you could actually do a double batch if you wanted to. But what you need to remember is that when it is boiling, there's going to be quite a lot of that froth that comes up. So the bigger the better in terms of your stock pot. So now let's go and pop him on the stove. There we go. And I'm going to do that trick here's one I prepared earlier. So we're going to turn him on. What you want to do up here is, hang on, my stove's being dodgy. Okay, so anyway, my stove's being very annoying. But what you want to do is put that on to boil, bring it right up to the boil, and then bring it back down so it's still boiling but not going crazy. And then you probably, for this amount of liquid, you're probably going to need to cook that for 30 to 40 minutes. And that's going to bring it down. Now, another little trick that I'll show you. So let's have a look at that marmalade. So this one's been boiling away for about 40 minutes. So you can see that that's gone beautifully caramelized. You can see that all of those oranges are really nice and soft. But I'll show you a little trick. Stay there for a sec. I'm just going to, what you can do when you're doing jam is keep a couple of little tiny saucers, just some old ones. This is a little tiny saucer here, and that's been in the freezer, so it's super cold. Obviously, you can't tell when your liquid's just been boiling because it's super hot whether it's going to set or not. So the little trick to figure that out is just to get a little teaspoon of the liquid, and then you pop it onto the frozen plate, and then you wait for 5 or 10 minutes, 5 or 10 seconds. And then the trick is, according to all of the books that you read, is that if that actually starts to stop running away, like it is now, it's ready to go. Some other people say that if you push it after about 30 seconds and it crinkles, that actually gives you a tip. So it looks as though our jam is ready to go. See, it's not moving at all now, so that's good. That means he's ready to go into the preserving jars. So we'll carry him over here. What I would say is that if you want to let the kids help you when you're doing your chopping up your oranges, measuring out your sugar, all that kind of thing, that is completely fine. Obviously, it depends how old they are. But I will let you know that any jams, any marmalades that you're making are super, 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 super duper hot. So just be really, really careful. Now, what we've got here is some preserving jars. Now, you can get these anywhere. You can get them at Woolies, you can get them at Big W, you can buy them at Spotlight. Basically, I really like the ball preserving jars. Any preserving jars are fine. Obviously, if you don't want to buy them, you can use your own jars. But it is really important to actually look up how to sterilize and prepare your preserving jars. So I've actually had these in the oven this morning in a water bath. So I actually had them in the oven for an hour. The water was bubbling away, it was all boiling. They were lying on their sides in a big baking tray. And then I actually took them out and I've dried them out in the oven again. The lids have been preserved as well, so they're all ready to go as well. They're those special preserving lids that have got like the separate thing there, and that lets the air out as the jam is cooling. So basically all you're going to do now is put your jam into your jars. Now I don't have it, so we're going to make a bit of a mess, I think, but you can actually buy, it's a product that goes with these jars. It's a special little funnel, and it's like a plastic funnel, and it's got a small end that fits in here and a bigger end there. But we'll just see how we go here. I might hold it over there. Again, being really careful because it's super hot. But you can see that that's a beautiful colour all going in there. And the idea is to get it in there while it's nice and hot. But the idea too is make sure that your jars are warm when you're spooning in your marmalade, because otherwise you could actually crack the jar. There we go. Oh, that's getting a bit hot on my fingers. The other trick with marmalade, or with any jams and preserves, is to make sure that you get it up to the right level. When you buy these preserving jars, they actually come with a really good little set of instructions, and it shows you exactly how high it's meant to be. But it's around about there, and for the purposes of today, this is all good. So there we are. So literally all we need to do now is pop that little lid on. And they say make it finger tight, don't make it super tight, because some of the air needs to be able to escape while you are there. Now there we are. If we were Paddington Bear, we would obviously stick our label on there. But what I thought I'd show you is a couple of little tricks. I am actually going to give these to a few friends for Christmas this year, because I think a lovely homemade gift is a wonderful thing at Christmas time. So what I've done is I've just thought I didn't have the same lids that Paddington has, so I've actually bought a little bit of gingham fabric, and I've just cut that. I actually used a little one of our little saucers, and I'm just going to pop him over there. Just cut it in a circle. Got a few little rubber bands that are left from our asparagus, and I'm just going to pop him on there, pull that down there. You could use a square of fabric if you wanted to, if you can't be bothered to do the circle. There we are. So that is already looking cute. You could leave it as it is, like that. Or if you wanted to make it a little bit more Christmassy, see I've got sticky fingers just like Paddington everywhere. You could tie a little ribbon, or you could put a little bit of string. I might put a little red ribbon on here, like so. There, I'll tie him on there, put a little bow. And the other thing I found when I was getting the fabric from Spotlight was some little tiny bits of plastic holly. Now obviously if you were doing a little Christmas present, there we go. How cute does that look? There we go. So I'll pop him over there, like so. But now the other thing we want to do is we cannot have beautiful fresh marmalade in the house without a nice hot cup of tea and some toast. Let's pop those in there, and we will literally press that, and that toast will go down. How cool is that toaster? Now I do want to let you know something very exciting. If you either whip up a batch of this marmalade or you whip up any Christmas recipe at the moment on Mouths of Mums and upload it to the site, we'll publish it as quickly as we possibly can. Basically make a Christmas recipe, take a photo, upload it onto Mouths of Mums, you automatically go into the draw to win either a KitchenAid toaster or a KitchenAid kettle. Now these are beautiful. You actually get the red version. Actually, you even get an even nicer one than this. You get a red toaster or a red kettle. Now these are the most beautiful quality products. You can just see how lovely they look there. And you can imagine that Paddington Bear would be in love with them too, to make his tea and his toast. So what I'm going to do is just make us. Now I love it in the movie because Paddington spends his whole time making marmalade sandwiches, and it's kind of nice too. They're using whole grain and multi-grain bread, which is really good. But I want to show you something too about this kettle here before we go to, while we're waiting for our toast to cook. This kettle actually automatically turns into a teapot. So this is the little diffuser, which once that's boiled, you actually put your tea in there. The other thing about this kettle is that if you know the ideal temperature for the water, oh, there we go, he's ready, he's boiling. So I'm going to make some English breakfast tea, obviously English breakfast tea today because we're having marmalade on toast, just like Paddington. What you do is you can actually put your tea leaves straight into this diffuser here. There we go, 1, 2, Waz and I can both have a cup of tea, so I'll put our full, I like a good strong cup of tea too. Oh, there we go, there's our toast popped up. So what you do here is you just take the lid out here, pop that in there like so, and then you're literally just going to drop him back in there, and then that lid locks in. So now you can see that our cup of tea is steeping. How cool is that? And I love that you can see how nice and clean that water is too, which is lovely. So there we go, we've got our toast. Let's grab him out. Not overly toasted because I don't like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat, and I'm actually going to get some straight out of the pot. Or maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should try one of Paddington's marmalades. Let's see if we can do that there. Oh, there we go. We'll get the lid off there. And then we're going to literally see what we think. There we go. Now, if I was Paddington, I would be using my paws to spread that. But I'm literally just going to do that. There we go. Look at that. So there's all that lovely jam in there. All that rind. Mine's a little tiny bit more malty looking than this one. This one's a little bit clearer. I think I might have cooked it for a little bit longer. But there we have it. Look at that. You can see that. And then our tea is steeping away there. Oh yes, hello. Hello, kettle. I love how it talks to you. So there we go. And obviously I'm going to get a nice little cup out there. And we are going to have a cup of tea and some toast. That is a perfect thing for this time of the day. And obviously now we've got a big stock of marmalade. I'm going to put the rest of this and the other batch, I'm going to put them into all of those preserving jars but you should get about 3 of those jars out of your 6 oranges. So good luck. I would love to see some of your recipes on the site. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you is that we also have a competition. So if you don't feel like cooking and you don't need a beautiful new KitchenAid kettle or toaster, you can go in the draw to win some tickets to Paddington 2. So we've got a whole lot of family passes to be won. Go onto the Mouths of Mums website and have a look for that competition. Just go to the win section. Tell us why you'd like to see Paddington 2 or what your favourite part of the movie is, and you might just be one of the happy families who wins those passes. So that's it for me today. Thanks for joining us. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments and I'll come back to you. I will also put this recipe up into that Christmas section brought to you by Paddington 2, so that if you do want to cook that at home for yourself, you can do that. Have a lovely day and thanks for spending some time with us. Lots of love. Bye-bye.